73. I wanted to say that because I grew up and I was taught that the medical system is something that basically, that's the final word. I grew up with parents who really worshipped the medical systems and the doctors, what they said, that was it. So I have to say I'm still skeptical, even though I've never done better. I'm still skeptical because it's just part of how I grew up. I can't help it. But I just want to say that my blood work is better than it's ever been. To me, which is incontrovertible demonstration of the collaboration, that the work with Donnie and what I'm going through at the hospitals on the clinical trials is doing, because all the treatment, I was diagnosed with lymphoma probably, I had CLL, and then I was diagnosed with lymphoma I think about 2010. It's very aggressive lymphoma. And all the treatment I had, whether it was surgery or chemotherapy or radiation, it just kind of tore me down. I mean, it just kind of, I was just becoming more debilitated as a side effect of the treatment. And now, since I've been working with Donnie, I mean, I'm having a quality of life that's better than I've ever experienced. And I've only been with him for a year, 18 months. Excuse me, about 20 months. And I remember when when I first met Donnie here, I was, and Lynn, my friend Lynn, by the way, introduced me to Donnie. I have to say, I'm very fortunate that Donnie, against his better judgment, on the one visit said, I'm accepting a few patients, a few more patients that I have no time for. So I feel fortunate that I was one of those that he accepted to treat. But when I first met Donnie, he had just published that book, and I was very proud to say that I had a stem cell transplant. And I felt that I was on the leading technological edge of curing cancer. And the first thing Donnie said to me was, well, if you were with me, that might not have been necessary. Oh my God. I mean, and so a year later, fortunately, Donnie accepted a few more patients, and I've been working with him. And I said to the doctor at Memorial Sloan Kettering, where he's being treated, that I asked, at first I didn't even want to tell them that I was being treated, because it's a bureaucracy, it's a huge corporation. And I was afraid if I said anything, they were going to send me hiking, because they would say, oh, we can't have any interruption with what we're doing because there's a variable you're introducing and we don't know how it's going to affect, you know, that kind of line of reasoning, which is, you can't even argue against the doctor when they talk like that, because, I mean, it just sounds so logical. We can't introduce another variable. And so I decided I was going to share with this doctor that I was working with Donnie. And I was prepared if they said my way or the highway, I was prepared to just work with Donnie and say goodbye. I mean, I was really nervous about it, but I was prepared to do that. And so fortunately, this doctor decided to talk to Donnie, and we had a collaboration. And then I moved over to Weill Cornell, where I'm on a clinical trial. I also managed to get Donnie and help arrange that Donnie and the doctor I'm working with can also have a conversation. So turns out that the first doctor at Memorial Sloan Kettering was of Italian descent. Yeah. And the second doctor at Weill Cornell was Canadian. And Donnie says he gets along well with foreign doctors. It's just the U.S. practitioners that he has a hard time with.
I really liked Dr. Charles Santano.
Yeah.
It's really great to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to honor you by saying that I've never met a man, I've never met a person who can treat the whole person. If you have a conversation with Donnie, and as I do when I have a consult with him over the phone, he'll just ask me questions about things in my life that I haven't even thought to discuss with him, or I haven't thought that were relevant. And then he'll somehow tie that in to changing his protocol or tweaking his protocol so that it will better help me and provide a balanced way of approaching what I'm dealing with. Just little tiny things, like wearing compression socks, for instance, because I was complaining that my energy was low. You know, I mean, if you say that to a doctor at a hospital, you know, they'll try to probably write you a prescription for something. Or was having trouble breathing using a neti pot. Now I know what a neti pot is, but I've never really tried it. And just simple little things like that to more complex things that have to do with the actual protocol have really helped. And anytime I've spoken to my doctors about it, I mean, they're well-meaning. I deal with doctors who are well-meaning and they're specialized and they're very busy. But they're so into their niche that it's impossible to get them to render or to even think about some of the things I want to talk about. And that's where Donnie can really, he really helps. And he can talk the language. He talks the language of these doctors. And so when I first spoke to Dr. Gersitano at Memorial Sloan Kettering, I mean, I was afraid every time I mentioned that I'm working with an alternative or an herbalist, I knew that they thought that that somebody was going to speak to them about coming from the vitamin shop, you know, with the latest cure for cancer. And I had to persuade them that this is somebody who's really knowledgeable and can speak their language. And so it's just phenomenal. And so I'm willing to, whether it's Skype or in person, yeah. I'm willing to be a testimonial to you, to any person or institution that you're speaking to. I have a very aggressive cancer, and when I went to Weill Cornell, they told me that if I had no treatment, I had 3 to 6 months to live. And I've never felt better. And that doesn't mean that things can't change instantly, but so far, I never thought that I could be standing here speaking to you this way and going back to work and starting to work out again. So thank you, Donnie.
Thank you, Roy. Thank you very much.